As you guys know, I end up in really weird places on my TikTok, and my For You page on TikTok gets a little crazy and weird. But there's one guy who constantly pops up on my TikTok all the time, and I think he pops up on a lot of people's because he's huge, both in like a terms of following and just physical stature. That man, of course, is the Liver King. For those of you who don't know who the Liver King is, this is the Liver King. The most absurd fucking human being to ever exist, right? This guy, if you don't know who he is, he's like in his mid 40s. He was chiseled out of stone. So his whole thing here, let me let him say it himself.
Primals, if you want to be satiated, this is more than what you eat. It's all 9 ancestral tenets. It's how you sleep,
the ancestral
eat,
tenets.
Move,
hold on
shield,
to that.
Connect, cold, sun, fight, and bond. Lean into the tenets.
Bond, the tenets
before you
of our ancestors.
Overeat shit. Right here with some raw testicle in it.
Key ingredient there, raw testicle. This man loves raw testicle. If you watch his video, raw testicle is always a part of every meal that he eats. Every meal he eats involves a raw testicle of some animal. Usually doesn't specify the animal, I'm now realizing. He usually just says a testicle. He did just say raw testicle. What? That's fine. That's not my point right now. My point right now is this guy is huge because he sells supplements for health shit. He's a fitness guy. Clearly, he's ripped as shit. He's a fitness guy. And I think it's like no surprise. Like, I feel like if you showed this person to literally anybody who can formulate sentences, right? Anybody who has at least a slight bit of like cognitive ability, if you showed this man to them, their first thought is most likely going to be, that man is on a lot of steroids. Holy fuck, is that man on a shit? He's like, what, mid 40s? That dude is juiced the fuck up. That dude is juiced up more than the fucking Kool-Aid man. Look at him. But here's the thing. His entire thing, only vegetables. His entire thing is you live like your ancestors. He has the ancestral tenets. Everything is natural. Everything is like, he calls his following primals, and anyone who speaks against him is subprimal. That's his whole thing, right? Now, obviously, some people are pretty skeptical.
There's a lot of subprimals that are convinced that Liver King is taking steroids.
I wonder why. Is it the insanely chiseled fucking pecs and abs on a 45-year-old man? And veins that are so big you could run a public transit system through them?
Do you think if I was on steroids, I would have these fucking appendages down here, these legs?
Have legs.
Do you see how fucking...
I love that his argument is like, if I was on steroids, would I have these tiny legs that are just the mere size of a young oak tree? Do I really look like I'm on steroids? Look how tiny I have little chicken legs. I can't be on steroids. He denies any use of steroids. He said anybody who approaches him, he says, I've never used steroids. I never will use steroids. I do not condone the use of steroids. I am fully natural. I live by ancestral tenets. I live like our ancestors, right? And that's just why I look like this. So here's where things start to become problematic, right? He is very open about his financials, and he makes around $100 million a year selling his supplements off of the claims that his supplements will make you look like him. His supplements will make you look like a shredded god holding an eagle. That's where it gets very problematic, right? Because clearly he's fucking lying. But now this little thing popped up one day. And if you're like me and you have no fucking idea what any of this means, don't worry. Everyone else on the internet's already explained it, and I'm super late to it. So let me explain it to you. This list right here basically means that this man takes $12,000 worth of steroids a month. This is a leaked email between him and one of his ex-coaches of him describing the cocktail of steroids that he takes every month, which added up to around $12,000 a month. Finding out that this man has been taking $12,000 worth of steroids a month, honestly, not that surprising. No one saw this coming. You know what I mean? Liver King was on steroids the whole time? What? Oh, shit. I don't know anything about the fitness world and steroids or anything like that. I just know that selling a product off the basis that it'll make you look like this, his whole thing is be natural, live like your ancestors, live like a primal human being, and this is how you become this. Everybody can see that he's a fraud. Everyone can see that he's lying to people and manipulating people, right? It's just kind of like everyone knew, but now it's like set in stone. So he got caught, right? And this is him finally addressing it. I'm gonna warn you right now, I'm probably gonna stop at some point during this because this video is really frustrating.
Primals, I'm making this video to apologize. Because I fucked up. Because I'm embarrassed and ashamed. Because I lied. And I misled a lot of people. I've stated that this is a complicated as fuck topic, at least to me it is, because before...
It's pretty cut and dry. All right, I know I said I wasn't gonna stop too much, but it's not complicated at all. You lied. It's like super cut and dry. You started a business on lies, you continued to lie, and then you got busted, and now you're caught with your pants down with your little raisin nuts showing. It's so insanely cut and dry. Is there anything, is anyone confused? Is anyone having a hard time following? I feel like I'm up to speed pretty quickly on this. I feel like everyone else has been following along pretty well as well. I'd say this is one of the least complicated controversies I've ever seen, to be honest.
Yes, I've done steroids, and yes, I am on steroids, monitored and managed by a trained hormone clinician. Liver King, the public figure, was an experiment.
Okay, up until this point, not the worst apology, not the best, but like he's he's being like, yes, I'm on steroids, and yes, I did steroids, and yes, I lied. All right, fair enough. That's pretty much all the points you really needed to make.
To spread the message, to bring...
But we're only 1 minute into this 6.5 minute video, so what else does he have to say? All right, this is where I'm gonna back it up though, because this is where the video gets very frustrating, okay?
Trained hormone clinician.
Strap in.
Liver King, the public figure, was an experiment to spread the message, to bring awareness to the 4,000 people a day who kill themselves, the 80,000 people a day that try to kill themselves. Our people are hurting at record rates with depression, autoimmune, anxiety, infertility, low ambition in life. Our young men are hurting the most, feeling...
Listen, guys, listen. I lied to save the... Yeah, I lied to protect you guys. You guys are all out there killing yourselves. I lied for you. I did it for you. Are you fucking kidding me? You absolute fucking lunatic. Are you? That's disgusting. That's like the fact that he even... Why? Why does this have to be in your apology? Why? Just clap. I don't know why I click on a YouTube apology video thinking that is not going to be something absurd. Dude, that is the craziest take I've ever seen in my life. Listen, I was helping people. I was stopping people from committing suicide, guys. Guys, I had to lie or you would have all killed yourself. What the fuck? That is the boldest take I've ever seen.
I've convinced myself that this had nothing to do with the ancestral message. I convinced myself that...
Guys, listen. The steroids don't have anything to do... Listen, guys. Our ancestors were boofing up HGH and PEDs all day. The ancestors were always doing this stuff. Doing steroids doesn't affect the message of being primal. I'm telling you right now, there's nothing more natural than lab-synthesized human growth hormone pumping through your veins.
I'm not a competitive athlete of any kind, so who the fuck am I cheating?
Do you remember earlier when you mentioned like the statistics of people depressed that look up to you? And now you're asking this question. So if you actually go back just like 30 seconds in your video, you actually gave the answer to that question. Believe it or not. It's crazy stuff, crazy. It's like the level of self-awareness and the level of like total obliviousness are like, it's so weird. He like says something insanely self-aware, immediately followed up by the most oblivious shit I've ever heard. It's like I don't even understand how to process it.
Because I believe that there's a time and a place for pharmacological intervention, monitored and managed.
Just like our ancestors. It's carved in stone somewhere on a cave wall where our ancestors said, we need pharmacological intervention, monitored and managed by a clinician. Also, can I just also mention, what was the average life expectancy of like our ancestors? Wasn't it like 40? or less. Why are there so many people thinking that that is like the peak of human civilization, health and fitness? Where does that thought process come from? Where we look at a civilization who at the age of 20, you needed to have like 6 grandkids to carry on your name. I don't even get it. The whole like primal thing, like I get maybe like as like a mindset of like simplifying your life to just like the essentials and like focusing on what betters you. That makes sense to me, like the positive message, I get that, but he like sleeps on planks of wood, he eats raw meat, he doesn't bathe, he doesn't shower, he doesn't shave. Why are you living like this? Like, we've evolved. We've invented Tempur-Pedic mattresses. Like, he lied about all the steroid shit. For all I would be equally as unsurprised if I found out that the whole ancestor and primal shit was just total bullshit. But also at the same time, he's been on podcasts, and when he goes on the podcast, everyone's like, dude, you smell like you haven't bathed in years. And they're like, yep, I have not.
When I talk about the 85% of the population that suffers from self-esteem issues, that's me. I'm part of that statistic.
Yeah, so that's like his whole, he's like, I did the steroids because it was like a weird around the bush way of saying that like I'm an insecure person. And that's why I did the steroids, which I think he could have, if he took the very start of this apology where he said, I lied, he was very clear, like, I lied, it was wrong, I did this, and then took the end of it and was like, I did it because I'm an insecure person, and left out the whole middle part that was just made everything else he said total bullshit, this apology would have been fine. Who cares if he's on stuff though? It's his body. I don't give a shit that listen, I'm not surprised or give a shit that he did steroids. The part that's fucked up is that he makes $100 million a year selling supplements and lying to people who are gullible enough to believe him, saying that if you follow his lifestyle, which he was claiming to be fully natural, and purchase his product, that you will look like this. It's like it's the same thing that everyone always gets mad about having like a false, unrealistic image, unachievable like body image. You can't look like that naturally. You can't do it, and he's lying to people telling them that he can.